Today, I'd like to chat to you about navigating food choices in a blended home. For instance, by blended, I'm talking multi-generational, meaning Granny K, teens, toddlers, parents. How about a step family? How about you living on your own or maybe with a roommate? And then also the community living spaces that some of us found ourselves in. This isn't a simple question. This is a mammoth task, especially when we bring our budget into play. So I'm going to give you a few tips on how to handle or how to include certain things on your grocery list when you go shopping, so you plan more thoroughly for those times that are necessary. And when that alarm bell rings and either you're having a craving, your teen is craving something, understanding when those are more likely to happen and what are those foodstuffs that we can make better choices around, that's what we're going to chat about today. So we all know what to eat, but it's quite another story when that craving alarm bell has hit. So let's start off with the toddlers in our lives and talk about the lunch boxes that they get to take to school. Because you know what? Those boxes are important and they're being inspected by your toddler as well as by the toddlers around them and their friends. So let's make them colorful. You see, rainbows are not just meant for little girls on Instagram. Little boys like rainbows too. And the rainbows I'm talking about is the array of color that you can put into their lunchbox, calling it a rainbow. So we can have tomatoes, cucumber, you can try different fruits, orange segments, watermelon, pickles, dark olives. How about different kinds of little blocks of cheese or crackers? And all these things are packing in nutrients into your little one's brain while they're in the playground. Now we collect them from school and they've had a tough day. They've been pushed, they've been pulled, they've been had their best book taken away from them, they've been tripped, they've fallen in the water. And it has been a tough day. So they are really emotionally depleted when we get to say hi to them. So what I always like to do is take a tiny little snack with me and an ice cold juice bottle, juice mixed with mostly water. And my two grandchildren just down those, they flatten them. And if, for instance, they're like, Granny K, we'd really like a donut, there's nothing wrong with going to get a donut. That's what they really are craving. But there's a way, there's a how to do this. So we would go to the donut store and divide the donut into little pieces. They've got water to drink, they've had a nutritious snack, they're not eating the donut on an empty tummy. Otherwise, we know we're going to deal with a chaos monster a few minutes later. So let's step on to now chatting about your teens. They sometimes are very active, other times more sedentary. But the answers to how they should eat are definitely in choosing healthier options. So oftentimes teens just need to be filled up because they're growing so quickly. They're just shooting through all their clothing. And that you, especially your boys, they're just growing taller and taller. And so now let's talk about how to fill those very hungry tummies. Sandwiches I mentioned are great, but let's upgrade the bread. So instead of using the normal store-bought bread that is packed with sugar, packed with shelf life additives, packed with oils, and all sorts of unnatural ingredients, what about sourdough bread? You see, sourdough bread has just three ingredients: water, flour, and a starter, which is also made of water and flour. And what the starter does is ferment the dough, and this allows the glycemic index to lower and it aids digestion. So often you'll eat sourdough bread and you'll notice a few weeks later, boy, I can have quite a few numbers of sourdough bread with a smashed avocado pear Or how about a smashed hard-boiled egg with some tomato or cucumber on it, and I feel strong, I feel good. It gives me energy for a lengthy period of time. And for those of our teams and also us, we love chocolate. It could be our go-to. Think about a better choice for chocolate. Your dark chocolates. You see, cacao is very good for you. It promotes brain health. It promotes heart strength. It lowers your cholesterol and it also lowers blood pressure. But I'm not talking about the milky, sweet chocolate. I'm talking about anything above 70% cacao. So even when you've got a lovely slab of 70% or 80% even dark chocolate, and I mean, put some orange into it, allow a bit of coconut, experiment with the tastes that you like, especially if the cacao level is correct or high enough. So break it into a slab, break into five, or otherwise try having one block at a time and coming back for another block. You see, that's how we honor our cravings and still walk away feeling good about ourselves. So, eating empowered is one of the second options. The first one is movement, and the second option is eating empowered in the reward puzzle. And as you can see, the reward puzzle is not about saying no to yourself or forcing yourself to do things that you really don't want to do, because that is going to be short lived. It's going to have a beginning and it's going to have a very quick ending. So, with the reward puzzle, we're guiding you to make better choices for your own self because are what you want to do, not because you're forced to do it.